Hey! Hello. How's everybody doing on this lovely Thursday afternoon? In the chat, looks like Jen's here. Pat's here. Craig's here. Chase is here. Kelly's here. Francisco's here. Maddie B is in the house as well. Friends, how are you all doing? Thanks for stopping by. I hope you've got something to drink. Maybe even something to eat, because we're going to be talking. What's up, Carl? How are you doing today, buddy? Guys, make sure you smash that like button when you get in here. Helps out. Help pump out the stream to everybody. Make sure everybody's got their notifications on. Everybody will start rolling in here now that I've actually gone live. We've got a lot to discuss. There are many things happening right now. A lot of changes in terms of what's going on with Disney, in terms of what's going on with the country. State by state, the country appears to be opening back up. In some states more than others, really ramping it up. Georgia, for example, as of tomorrow, is opening tattoo parlors, barbershops, nail salons. Soon to follow will be restaurants and the like. I'm sure some of you have heard, I'm not sure what you watch for your news, but Governor Cuomo has been going live pretty much every single day, doing daily coronavirus briefings, and New York, being the epicenter, is the place that we want to really focus on the most. It's a place of a diversity. It's a place that has just about every race of people, every age of people, from men to women, children, in and around the area that is New York. I don't think you could find a more diverse population. Hi, Elle. Hi, Elizabeth. How's everybody doing? So it's very good to see that in the epicenter, things never really got, hey, Angela, things never really got crazy. Let's go back. Let's take a stroll back in time, shall we? The date, October. The year, the month, should I say October? The year, 2018. Hi, Hannah, how are you? The Wuhan coronavirus originates to so far mysterious origins. There have been reports from various intelligence agencies around the world that the coronavirus was mutated in a Wuhan virology lab. There are theories that the coronavirus was passed via animals in a wet market in Wuhan. Most likely from a bat, which then transferred to another passive animal and then transferred to us. So, this raises a lot of questions. When a virus comes out of nowhere like this, and it's affecting a certain part of the world, how does the rest of the world react? Well, the rest of the world, we basically sat back and watched. We were all convinced, because of the numbers coming out of China, because of how China was reporting their numbers, that we were in the clear, that things looked like it was going to be okay, which was obviously not the case. The coronavirus was far more contagious than they had said. Originally, there was no human-to-human transfer. Now there is, of course, obvious human-to-human transfer. So fast forward a little bit, the virus starts to move to different places. Certain places handle the virus in different ways. South Korea focused on testing, and they flattened their line almost immediately. Other places, like Italy, as we saw, suffered tremendous loss. As the disease appeared, and this is just by appearances now, as the virus appeared to move westward across the globe, the infection rates in Europe skyrocketed. The healthcare system was completely and utterly overwhelmed in a place like Italy, which led to not enough ventilators, not enough beds. People died because they did not have access to the health care that they needed. That was... So flash forward a little bit more. The coronavirus officially hits the United States. California, Washington, Miami become some of the first hotbeds, and New York becomes the epicenter globally of the coronavirus. So, when this happened, obviously you all know, there was a lot of confusion. Okay? We globally, every government across the globe right now is basically taking a test that nobody has ever taken before. Sure, we've taken quizzes that look kind of like this test. They're on the same subject matter. Swine flu, SARS, MERS, Ebola. This was the test. And every other country decided, hey, let's cheat off of China. Let's just copy off of China. This is what China did. This is what worked for them, kind of. Maybe. Who knows? But let's all do that. Let's all lock down every single one of our countries. Let's put the world at a standstill. Hi, Tanya. Thank you for the super chat. Pat, thank you for the super chat. I'll get to the super chats for sure. So, country by country, world leaders decide to start shutting down their economies. The federal government here came very close to a nationwide shutdown. Whether you believe the president has the power to do that or not is irrelevant. Executive orders seemingly have no restrictions. So when they are signed, they tend to be very powerful things. So when the president doesn't sign an executive order, it's very hard to try to say what would have happened if he had or had not. It doesn't work like that. So state by state, because we are the United States, governors decide locally how they're going to shut down. Everybody basically takes the lead from these first places: California, New York. One country in this grand scheme of, and we're not talking third world, second world, we're talking super duper first world country, decides, we're going to try to quarantine, we're going to try to be smart about our sanitation, but by no means are we going to close the economy. Still to this day in this country, people are out at cafes, they are enjoying their life, they are at work, and their kids are at school. That country is Sweden, and within the next 2 weeks, Stockholm, the capital, is expected to reach herd immunity. What does that mean for the population of Stockholm? It means they got an A+ on the test that the rest of us absolutely failed. And now it will be up to the rest of the world to try to decide how quickly are they willing to try that same method. Will their results be the same? Now, let's talk a little bit more locally, right? The world's a big place. You and I, we don't live in these places. We don't live in Spain. We don't live in Greece. We don't live in China. We don't live in South Korea or Italy or the UK or Canada or anywhere in South America or Australia. We live here in the United States. And what is happening here in the United States is that unemployment has absolutely maxed out. In some states, thankfully, people have been getting paid right from the jump. But here in Florida, it has been an absolute nightmare. People are not getting paid, and they just recently started getting paid. There are some people that, despite getting their unemployment insurance, plus maybe the extra $600 a week that they're getting, and the $1,200 stimulus that maybe they've already gotten if they had everything set up right, if all those cards aligned perfectly for you, guess what? If you have a family, you're coming real. If you have a mortgage, car payments, I know a lot of companies are willing to work with people right now, but if you are in a position where you cannot put food on your table, guess what starts to happen? Around the country, from states as blue as Pennsylvania to as red as here, people are protesting. People have had enough. They're sick of being inside. They're sick of not being able to go to work. Some of these people work their whole lives to start businesses. Now, each and every governor and the president and everybody who we feel like should be telling us how to live our lives, they're going to be the ones responsible for how this unfolds. The coronavirus, by numbers, is not as deadly as anybody expected. At all. In the slightest. It has come under in every single aspect of the disease. The Javits Center, which the Fed sent the Army Corps of Engineers to literally redesign, was never more than 60% full. The USS Comfort, which was retrofitted to handle coronavirus patients, barely saw anyone. The reason that we were all supposed to stay in our house, guys, and this is going to kind of blow your mind, we weren't supposed to stay in our house so that we wouldn't get the coronavirus. That wasn't the point. The point was, stay in your house so that everybody doesn't get it at once and everybody's at the hospital at the same time, because then there's not enough beds, there's not enough ventilators, there's not enough anything. Look at what happened in Italy. That never happened here. It didn't even come close. All these videos that you're watching of healthcare workers who are stressed out beyond their life, of course they are in places like New York City. Normal hospitals were at capacity. Guess what? When a hospital's at capacity, that's what it's designed for. If you are anybody that works any type of job that involves patronage, because whether you're at a hospital for medical reasons that are needed to save your life, or cosmetic, or whatever it is, elective surgeries, You are a patron of that hospital. Everywhere that does, if you have patrons, if you're Walt Disney World, if you're a restaurant, if you're a hospital, whatever you are, it's going to feel a lot different if half of the place is full compared to 100% of the place is full. So when the place is 100% full, you're going to feel like you're getting your ass kicked. It was the fact of the non-overflow. And don't let that fool you. Do not let these videos fool you of healthcare workers in certain places that are overwhelmed fool you. There are places all around the country, far and wide, and outnumber the places that are full. I don't know the exact number. I would guess it would have to be more than 10 to 1, if not 20 to 1, that have seen barely any cases. I have friends who work in the medical field who have not seen a single case of coronavirus in their hospitals. They are registered nurses. They have not seen a single case. Places like that need to open up. Does New York City need to open up tomorrow? No. Do the Mets, Yankees, Knicks all need to start having games? Do we all need to go back to restaurants that need to be packed to the brim and we're literally standing outside for an hour waiting for these places? Do we all need to be jam-packed like sardines on the subway? No. We don't need that. The reality, I hate to break it to you, we never really need that. Anytime you're in a situation like that, you have no idea what you're susceptible to, what you're being exposed to. Crowded places are dangerous places for your biology and your physiology. Here's a fun fact for everybody that's worried about coronavirus. You won't get it if you stay home. You won't get it if you take the right precautions. If you are disinfecting in and out of your house and you are not allowing any type of social gathering, if you are literally isolated, you're not going to get the coronavirus. You're also not going to die from anything else if you just stay in your house. You're also not going to live, just so you know, because this, coming from a guy who really appreciates just the ability to take your breaths and what that means for being alive, sitting around in your house, that's not it. It's not what we were designed for. It's not what the country's designed for. It's not what the world's designed for. I want to talk directly about one thing that should scare the shit out of you, and it's not the coronavirus. What you should be scared shitless of is the fact that a guy like Anthony Fauci has been involved in epidemiology for years. If anybody should know about an outbreak or if anybody should know everything about this, it's a guy like him. And every step of the way, this dude has been so wrong. It's weird. It is weird. How are we listening to people who told us that 250,000 people were going to die from this? How are we listening to people that at first said that this was not even a big deal? Why are we, the people, listening to anybody but our state and local officials? There is nobody that knows more about what's going on in your town your city, your country, your county than your governors, your mayors. Period. Period. And I haven't really been reading the comments as they've been coming in because I'm just trying to get ripped. But I like this comment right here by Stu Brewer. Tom, do you advise monorail pole licking for herd immunity? I 100,000%. 100,000%. Yes, of course. If you are somebody who is healthy, if you're healthy, you should want to do everything you can to get these antibodies. Because when you get these antibodies, and this is not according to just fake news and fake doctors, this is across the board. It seems like when you get these antibodies, they will be good for at least a year. Or until the virus mutates. One or the other. Or either or. But you should be good. Those antibodies should be good. So if you are a healthy person, you should not be worried about this, because even if it gets you, and it gets you in a way that it shouldn't, as a healthy person, you, in your worst case scenario, are going to be hooked up to a ventilator that will save your life. And guess what? There's a ventilator at your local hospital. There is. I hate to say it because I know some people maybe don't politically agree with the president, but Donald Trump made that happen. He made sure that there was no place that needed a ventilator that doesn't have a ventilator. As I'm sure you guys hear all the time, 10,000 stockpile in the Federal Reserve. They can be in any state in 24 hours. And if you think he's fronting, look at how fast they had the USS Comfort there. Look at how fast the Javits Center got done. 2 million swabs a day. The way that he used the Defense Protection Program, or the Defense Protection Act, I'm not sure which of the abbreviations it is, the way that he used that on a company like 3M, at GM, like to get TMC, to get these companies to do what they needed to do. Working with Walmart's producing thousands of gowns. I mean, the way, I hate to say it, because politics can be such a weird thing. It's like most people, they see through such a tiny little pinhole of reality that they are either leftist or they're rightist. They're a Dem or they're a Republican. They hate the president or they love the president. It's very, very hard to find people who are like me. Do I understand that Donald Trump is a billionaire weirdo, so out of touch with you and your normal life? Is he half a racist dummy who doesn't think about anything that comes out of his mouth? Does he I mean, there are so many, I could go on and on, but I felt all these ways about Donald Trump when he was hosting The Apprentice. I know this guy. I know who he is. I grew up in and around him. He is the personality that he's a personality. He's not even like a real person. I have to give every bit of credit to the president for the way he has handled this situation. It has been amazing. Think about the stimulus. Congress approved another $500 billion worth of stimulus. I'm happy that big time companies like Shake Shack and Harvard University that has a $40 billion endowment are kicking back their federal money that they got off of this program. I'm happy that that's happening, but I gotta tell you, I'm shocked that any of it even happened. The gridlock that happens in Washington, I mean, Nancy Pelosi is the biggest loser you've ever seen in your life. This lady has been in office for, like, God knows, longer than I've been alive. She's done almost jack shit. She's a loser. And she's a loser, okay? Huge, stupid loser. She's a loser. And for the past week and a half, trying to block these things. While she's sitting in her house doing James Corden interviews, eating frickin' 19 different types of ice cream that are in her $1 million house in her freezer. She's a loser. Loser. Congress, dude. The gridlock in Congress. Over trying to get you your money. Over you, a person that worked your whole life to start a business, to do something that all these politicians tout. Oh, this is the American dream. That's what America's, make America great again. That's what you've been doing for the past X amount of years of your life. You have been making your personal America, your life, you've been making it better and better and better. And now, all of a sudden, a lady like that wants to hold you back. The election is incoming, and let me tell you right now, I hate to say it, I'll harken back to my attitude during most of the real talks. If you don't like what I have to say about this kind of stuff, you're going to want to dip out. You're going to want to sign out now, because with the election rolling in, I know people are going to get more and more butthurt. But let me tell you something, you don't know politics like I do. You don't. You know why I'm going to tell you that? Because this week, you know what I sit around and do? I sit around and play video games and I listen to YouTube. Do you know what I watched this week? I watched the presidential debates between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. These happened 3.5 years ago. They hold zero relevancy. I just watched them for fun. I eat this stuff alive. Alive. We would have been, I hate to tell you, we would have been screwed if Hillary Clinton was the president right now. Screwed. Because we wouldn't have the relationship with China that we've had. All the special interests. You ever heard of a woman with more special interests in your life? The lady used to get paid $250,000 to make speeches for Goldman Sachs guys, where she probably got up and was like, "Herp-de-dirt, thanks for the check." Imagine if a guy like Bernie Sanders was the president. And with all this, where we are, right? With all this, I still, every day, I wake up and I start putting on my news clips, and I still listen to these morons on both sides of the fence. I listen to a guy like Tucker Carlson on Fox just going off, and I'm like, damn, I can see why people hate Republicans, and they hate Fox, and they hate Donald Trump. And then I listen to a guy like Lester Holt, and I'm just like, this dude is so just pompous, like living in a different world than I am. I'm shocked that the media, I'm shocked that we've allowed the media to like force feed us the way that we really haven't. You have to give us all credit. You know, as a society, look at the way that we're breaking free of all this. Look how free of thinkers we are now compared to how we've ever been. Sure, in Vietnam, people were sitting down protesting the war, and that was some real free thinking. But we are more free now than we've ever been. You don't have to consume your news from just a few little outlets. You can pull the hard numbers yourself. You want to know the CDC numbers on how many flu cases there were last year? You can look it up. You want to know anything there is to know, the utilization of hospital beds in New York, you want to know anything, you can look it up. And you can look it up in one place, and you can corroborate it in another place. And if that place is different than the information that you presented in the first place, you can go to a third place, and a fourth, and a fifth, and a sixth. And eventually, you can build yourself a clear picture of what's actually happening in the world. You don't have to be reliant on somebody telling you this is what's going on. I'm pissed off. Can you tell? Can you tell that I'm just so over it? That I'm just so sick of it? You know, there's always Al Jazeera. And I have to give half the media credit. I was shocked to see a place like MSNBC posting about Sweden the way that they're posting. You'd think that it's very hard in one breath to be like, oh, there's not enough tests, governors are crazy for opening up, we're all gonna die, and then in the next breath to report, but in case you didn't know this, Sweden never locked down and everybody's fine and herd immunity's 2 weeks away and they're sipping on fucking lattes while you're sitting in your house banging your head against the wall wondering like, when are you going to be able to get back to work? The world, I cannot begin to repeat this enough, guys. The world took a test. There has never been an epidemic, pandemic like this ever. We have been quizzed plenty of times. SARS, MERS, Ebola, swine flu, bird flu, the list goes on and on and on. And we've taken these quizzes over and over, and we thought that we were ready for the test, and then it happens in China. They're the first people to take the test, and we all just copied off of them. We were like, sure thing, that's what we'll all do. And Sweden was like in the back of the room like, okay, have fun, you know, enjoy yourselves, you know, and like they got the A+, and we all failed. It's fucking pathetic. It's fucking pathetic that we are listening to guys like Fauci. It is an absolute joke. A guy like that, with all the experience in the world, the committees that guy has served on, he should know everything there is to know about this. And he doesn't know a thing about this. It's like he's just guessing in the dark. We could all guess in the dark. Coronavirus will or will not be back in the fall. It's like, well, at this rate, what makes him more right than any of us? Do your own research on infectious respiratory diseases. There's nothing that the coronavirus is more similar to than influenza. The flu, do your own research. Yes, of course coronavirus is going to come back. Duh. It couldn't possibly be worse than it was. That's an impossibility. It would have to mutate in a way that just won't happen. The same way that we never hit the deaths that were supposed to happen. We never had the hospitals fill up the way they were supposed to. None of it happened. It was all a bunch of bullshit speculation. I feel awful for anybody who has had to suffer through this. Anybody who's lost their life, you can't even say you feel bad for them. It's a heartbreaking thing to die. Death, nobody wants to die. And you know what? If your life means a lot to you, you won't. You won't. You'll take care of yourself in the proper ways. But guess what? I bet you most of you out there eat junk food. Some of you smoke. Some of you drink. Some of you do whatever it is that you do. Because that's life. You kill yourself a little bit all the time. Could you be every single day drinking green drink and making sure that you ran 6 miles so that you, like, your heart and your body and your lungs and all your essential organs were on par, and you know, most of you don't do that. So what the hell? What are you worried about? What are you worried about? And it's not about mortality rate. And not to mention the mortality rates all over the place. Who knows of any of these people that have died from COVID in any country? Who knows if the numbers are accurate? Who knows? You look, like I was just saying, when you try to corroborate your information with different people all over the place, you see different numbers from everywhere. At the end of the day, you'd hope that you could rely on the CDC. You'd hope that you could go to the CDC and those would be the numbers that you could look at. And if those are the numbers you're looking at, guess what? Last year from the flu, 60,000 people died. 60,000 people. Not going to kill that many people, sadly. The corona, not sadly, but you know what I mean? If it was some kind of stupid competition, which everybody wants it to be, like nobody, yeah, it's a useless stat. Mortality rate means nothing. You cannot expect what will happen to you from catching the coronavirus off of a mortality rate. It just doesn't, the numbers aren't there. They're not there. Coronavirus is not going to hit those numbers. It's not going to kill that many people. It's not. And even if it did, even if it killed more people than last year's flu season, it would still be less than 1/4 of what the government predicted. You have to trust your body. You have to trust life. You know what I mean? What the hell? You gotta have this kind of common sense, because honestly, if you don't, you're gonna be a sheep like your whole life. You know? I think that was something that was very important for me when I started looking into this when I really started to become like a free thinker. That was very much so based off of how I grew up. My dad's in the chat right now, and I talked about it in the last chat. My family is lefty. Bunch of liberals. I don't get it. None of it's ever made sense to me. I have some liberal mentalities, but some things I'm like, that is buck wild, right? So I, as soon as I could vote, started watching these types of things. Like I was just saying, who the hell sits around in their free time the 4 years after an election and watches 5 hours of debates just to run it back in your head, just to see how right you were? Do you know how right I was about Donald Trump? While the rest of, I lived in Rhode Island, liberal place, a lot of liberals. Everybody like Bernie Sanders, bumper stickers. I knew Donald Trump was going to win the election the day he rode down the escalator. Everybody I know telling me I was crazy. No, you're crazy. Do you guys, you know how much I love Saturday Night Live. That's all I love Saturday Night Live. We're always quoting Saturday Night Live. We're always talking about Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live, on the regular, made brash statements that Donald Trump was never going to be the president. When they mocked the last presidential debate, when they were introducing, they were like, and now introducing the candidates, Donald Trump, and can we say this? I think it's pretty safe, President Hillary Clinton. It's hilarious to go back and watch this stuff. People were so wrong. Everybody thought they were right, and everybody was so wrong. And we're right back in it. Everybody just wants... I don't know why. It's do you not like your country? Do you not love America? Is that what's going on here? People that want to, keep the country shut down. Do you not understand? Do you not get it? Herd immunity is not a joke. It's actually the only and the most effective means to fight anything like this. A vaccine, has all kinds of complications. Vaccines need to be clinically trialed, which can take years, and even at a sped up process. And you don't want and just so you know, you don't want your clinical trials for a vaccine to be sped up. That's not how you want it to go, right? These can take years. Years. Therapeutics, quick, Easy solutions. I think the country's done that. Hence why the recovery rate is as astronomical as it is. We've developed fantastic therapeutics. And it's the weird stuff, like this whole hydroxychloroquine thing that's happening right now. Was the president right? Was he wrong? Now it says that people died from the hydroxychloroquine that might have lived. And actually there are some people that say it's good. It's like everybody's full of bullshit. It's all bullshit. You know what's not bullshit? Herd immunity. Not bullshit. It's super real. It's the most effective means to get this taken care of. And we're going to be there. This shit ain't going to last. Protests erupting around the country. And this is just the beginning. Americans are not, come on. This is not Germany. You're not locking us all in. And yeah, Germany's been doing great. They have a fantastic healthcare system. But that ain't it. This is America. Land of the free, home of the brave. Not land of the quarantined, home of like a bunch of pussies. That's not who we are. It's not who we are. If you watched Andrew Cuomo yesterday, I don't know what you guys watch. I'm just way too fresh to all this. This is all I've been doing. You know, think about a guy like me. Tom does Disney. Look at how I handle my YouTube channel. Look at how I handle my information in general. When do I, Tom, talk about things that I don't know about? Very rarely. You guys know me. I bring it to you real and I bring it to you correct. I do not mess around. I put in the work because that's how it should be done. I gotta get my backup chair. If you saw Cuomo yesterday during his press conference, it was the epitome of what's happening right now and why this is going to start to get really weird. There were protesters outside of his press conference yesterday protesting that they want to get back to work. It's New York City. It's the epicenter. It's a very dangerous place to be right now in terms of it's just not but there are people that need to go to work. Many of them saying that unemployment's not enough. They haven't received their unemployment benefits. The government assistance has not come. They have burned through it. Whatever it is, these people are outside protesting. Get back to work. What is this guy, this fucking multi-millionaire jerk-off governor of New York, what's his response while he gets to go home to his super nice house and probably has a maid and guaranteed not homeschooling his kids, right? He says, why don't those people outside why don't they just go to work? They could take jobs as essential workers. It's this stupid ass mentality that there's like always work available. That is the dumbest mentality anybody can ever have in their life. It's so preventative from like great success. Like finding true independent success is this idea that like there's always work out there. There's not. When you find work, you grab it and you hold on to it. And for some people, like myself, when that becomes an issue, holding on to like constant work, you create something that's your own, that nobody can take away from you. A lot of people don't have it like that. So these people need to go to work. They got to get to work. They got to get to work. That's what this dude says. He says, why don't they go take jobs as essential workers? It's just the level of pious that you're dealing with, this like so much better than you. Like I've got all the answers. And this is the guy that's in charge of when the state's gonna reopen. If I was in New York, I'd be petrified. Luckily for us, luckily for me and you guys, because you're kind of a part of this, right? You get to live here kind of with me in Orlando. The county beaches all over Florida are already opening back up, thank God. The mayor of Orlando has assembled a task force, which includes President Josh D'Amaro of Walt Disney World. Huge shout out to Josh, a guy who I've met several times and we've had a chance to even hang out with. You know, Josh is an amazing person. We're all very, 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 very fortunate that he came over when he did. He is on this task force, and trust me, that means Disney's opening back up. The mayor said that Walt Disney World is absolutely in that plan of reopening. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Because Disney's a unique place for one very special reason. For me, in a lot of ways, but for some people very much so more than me, Disney is their place, their happy place. It's the place that they need to be in order for them to feel normal. It's not something that is widely discussed, but the community is a very almost religious experience. It has trust me, if there are some religion, if Mormonism can be a religion, you know what I mean? That we're really starting to get into the iffy. If you can be a real Jedi and you can take days off of work because it's your religion. I mean, we're really into weird territory when we say a word like that, religious. But it's a place that people need, right? It's a place that people need to be back to. And it's not just there; it's everywhere. So with all of that crazy nonsense having been said, right? Cheers to you all. I respect you all. If you don't agree with me, I get it. Whatever it is, what it is. You don't have to agree with this stuff. All I ask is that you just think for yourself. That's all I can hope for anybody, is that you're all just thinking for yourselves and you're not allowing the mainstream media to run your entire life. You know what I mean? I hope that you're taking care of yourself the same way now that you will be in 10 months from now, the same way that you were 10 months before now. I hope that you care about your life enough that you're willing to live it and you're willing to not do things that put you in ultimate harm's way. You don't take risks that are unnecessary. And from what I've seen, the numbers, I think it's a very I don't want to. Yeah. That's enough of that. So Disney World is going to reopen. Here's when. I don't know. Everybody wants to know. The reality, and this is just me. Just me. Well, coming from plenty of sources, but who knows if any of these sources are accurate, you know what I mean. Disney World should open to locals and only locals, and I would assume that may even have some restrictions in it, i.e. platinum level pass holders. I would expect Disney is going to reopen 3 of the 4 major parks. I expect Epcot to not reopen with the rest of the parks. But I say that the process begins late May. It has to begin late May because as of June 1st, Disneyland and Disney World are openly taking reservations. Now, you cannot get the ball rolling in a real proper way. That's right, Kathy. I'll get to and I'll answer comments in a little while, guys. I'll go back. I'll read some stuff. I just want to rip because I've been really just in the mood to rip for a minute for the past few days. Because, I mean, really, this Sweden stuff is pissing me off, man. Just watching all these people live their lives while we sit around like dummies. It's driving me bonkers. So, Disney reopens the last 2 weeks as a test run for the proper reopening. Okay? The bad news bears for most locals is I feel like that's going to be an extremely temporary thing. I feel like it's only going to last for at least the last week, if not 2 weeks of May, at which point the parks are only going to be accessible by those who have a resort reservation. I can't begin to tell you how much I believe that. Disney, as a company, needs to immediately start making as much money back off of its guests as it possibly can. So that means it needs to be looking at you, the guest, as a customer. So if you're somebody that lives local, you're just going to come to the park, mess around, ride a couple rides, maybe buy $25, $30 worth of things. That's not enough. And it's not enough that you paid 30-something bucks for your annual pass for the month. That's not enough to keep Disney going. We are not the priority. Normal annual pass holders, we are absolutely not the priority. The priority are resort guests. Resort guests spend 10 times as much on average per day than normal park guests. They can do up to 3 meals, snacks, and merchandise. Disney's going to close the parks, I would assume, all of June. I don't even know. I honestly, I think if they make enough money in June, they'll do it for July too. Because it's going to, because we were slow to the jump, because we've all been sitting in our houses, just so you know, this is not good for your immune system. Side note, sitting around in your house, not being exposed to normal, everyday viruses, it's very bad for your immune system. So we're all going to be coming out of this a little bit weaker, immunity-wise, than we have been. So Disney's going to really, the herd immunity thing, I don't think it's going to happen here in the United States until at least summer, midsummer to end of summer, which is huge. I know it's a bummer, but honestly, it is what it is. I think that if this has taught me anything, about this, it's taught me a lot of things. But if it's taught me really anything, it's to appreciate what you have when you have it. Not to be so, If Disney reopens for 2 weeks and I get to do 2 weeks worth of content, that's great. That means I'm going to get in there, I'm going to really focus up, and I'm going to make 2 weeks worth of the best content I possibly can. June 1st, the parks are reopening to people with reservations. Hey, guess what? Tom, he's got 3 dope-ass deluxe resorts booked for 3 nights in a row. Life is dope. Okay? Between Tanya, myself, some of my other friends, I really don't think that there'll be any issue staying at Pop Century, All-Star Movies, Music, Sports, Animation, whatever, on the regular. I really don't see that being an issue. To once a week, even if it was just that once a week, twice a week, I really don't see that being an issue. If you are a resort guest, and that's really how they're going to do it, it's going to be 2 nights it's going to be 2 days technically for every night you're there, because your checkout doesn't exist until 11 o'clock in the morning, which you could already be in the park by then. So technically, you could get in with a couple of your friends, a room's $120, pass holder discount, maybe the room's like $100, 3 of your friends, $30 a piece. You get 2 days in the park out of it. Yeah, exactly, Christopher. You know, Christopher's one of those dudes I was thinking of when I said my other friends. Like some of my friends, like luckily, luckily, like that's like life is good, and we can do that kind of stuff if that's what it comes down to. If spending more money to get back to Disney is what it's going to require right off the bat, I'm into it, baby. I'm good. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, I'm sure most of you have seen, if you're Walt Disney World buffs, if you're Disney buffs, you guys know that Shanghai has recently started implementing their social distance queues. I don't know if you guys have seen pictures of this, just Google it. Shanghai is getting ready to reopen, and their queue lines now have space in between people. So you won't be able to just stand on top of the next person there in queue. It's going to be much more organized. Thank God, right? Gives us a huge benefit. Little kids are not going to be sneezing in our face and kicking us in the back and screaming and all this crazy stuff that happens. It's going to be organized. I'm sure Disney's going to follow suit. What does that mean? Well, it's going to mean that attractions, I don't know, like really the capacity to which they're going to run. I don't know. You know, I see that Disney has all these fast passes that are available. I think it's very strange. I think that even Epcot having all this availability for fast passes just doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because I don't think the park's opening back up. I really don't. And maybe that just means that the World Showcase is closed. Because of the main reason I say that is because it's not secret that Disney sent all the international cast members home. That's done. They didn't do that just so like 3, 4, 5 weeks later they could bring them back. Or maybe they did. Who am I to say? With the amount of construction going on at Epcot, I think it would be a very smart move for Walt Disney World to just lock it down. You know, when everybody can get back to work, that means that construction crews can get back to work. Union stuff is all good. Get back to work. They can put it into overtime at Epcot and make sure that everything is on pace and ready. That, personally, I would take the hit. Not being able to ride that stuff or go back to Flower and Garden, it would suck, but you know what? I think it would be better for the company, and I think it just makes way more sense. Now, this is a big, big, big thing. You just said last week that's going to open June 1st. Yeah, that's what we just said here. Are you watching the stream? I hate stupid comments like that. It's like, don't just jump in and say something. Like, scroll back a couple seconds. You know what I mean? The parks, yeah, they're going to open on June 1st. That's what I just said. Ugh, God. It's not the day, folks, to be stupid on the channel. Virtual queues maybe are going to be a thing. I think that for certain rides it makes total sense. I think that mobile ordering is going to be a huge factor. This has been the one constant between everybody's channel. Everybody wants to know, will there be fireworks? Will there be parades? Here's the deal, guys. I don't think so. And this is why. It's a double hit. Disney spends a tremendous amount on those fireworks. We were just saying that Disney reopening is not a magic. It's not about bringing you back to the magic and let's all have a great time. This is come back to spend money. And as a company, they are going to want to spend the least money per day. So, no fireworks means that, who knows, maybe that's 200 people, the offset of it, you know, the amount that the fireworks cost compared to what the people spent. That parade, that means you don't have to pay the actors to do it. You don't, you know, it's another situation where I don't think it's just going to be because of the crowds. I think a lot of it is going to be budgetary. I think we all need to start moving out of the mind, right? I'm at Disney in Burbank. Yeah, I'm sure. Rock on. Yeah, how about you guys are all dumbasses? Yeah. If you're in Disney in Burbank, yeah, you guys should have just stayed open. Hey, word to everybody at the Burbank conference room. You guys should have stayed open. Moron. You know how many of these people I've come across over the past few weeks? These people that, like, they're just weird. I had this one lady like, oh, I'll bet you a Club 33 membership that Disney doesn't reopen on the 1st. I'm like, yeah, you and your like 600 followers on Instagram, I'm sure. Did that buy you your Club 33 membership? People are such dumbasses, man. We're all laughing at you in the conference room because you're making the best points we've ever heard. We all realize how fucking stupid we are. Morons. What else is going to happen at Disney? Temperature checks, 100%. Why? Because it's the most efficient way to handle this kind of stuff. You're absolutely going to have an app. There's going to be QR codes. You're going to get scanned. It's going to have your health history on it. It's happening everywhere in China. And as you've seen, all we know how to do is copy off of China. So we'll be copying off of China. There's a better chance that because Disney is a high-tech place, and Walt Disney World even more so high-tech than most places, I'm sure that there's temperature scans. There's body heat index stuff that you can throw up. It might not even be as big a deal as we think it is. Now, if antibody tests are going to be as widely available as the government says they're going to be, which who knows, but if they are, I'm sure Disney has already bought plenty. And an antibody test on your way in that takes 5 minutes is going to be the absolute best way to let you into that park with absolutely no fear of you passing the virus on to anybody. Are you going to have to wear a mask? I could only assume so. There's actually no harm in wearing a mask, guys. Wearing a mask does not protect you in the way that you think it does. It actually protects those around you in case you were to have the virus. Or you were asymptomatic, which you still have the virus. I mean, think about how stupid that comment was. Like, you're going to try to pretend like you're somebody that works at Disney, right? Imagine you worked at Disney right now. The place literally losing its mind trying to figure out how they're going to open back up. They're watching some dude with fucking 2,600 subs on YouTube chat about it. Get a life, you morons. Hey, Billy, how do you think we should reopen Walt Disney World and Disneyland? Oh, I don't know, but maybe we should just hop on YouTube. Maybe somebody on there has like ideas. Ay, ay, ay. The amount that everybody wants to be right and wrong, like in this situation, pisses me off. I'm right back to where I was 4 years ago. I really am. It's just a bunch of people that want the worst for their country. It's a bunch of people that hope for the worst. If you don't want the economy to reopen tomorrow, you do not care about America. The country is going to shit. It cannot sustain this. All around the nation, people cannot put food on their tables. I have donated to several charities that help with this. But what else can I do? How can I, as a human, what am I supposed to go to a food bank? I don't even know where the food bank is around here. And if there was a food bank, I mean, Jesus Christ, is that where we're at? Should we all be at the food bank? I mean, I've done my part here. If I had been, I couldn't stream that last week at Disney, but I wanted to, and I was full on planning on doing a 100%. All the donations go towards COVID-19 and fighting it, feeding people more specifically, not the fight medically against the disease, because that takes billions of dollars globally to do something like that, but to feed somebody. If you're somebody that's put up a status on your Facebook page, hey, if you're somebody that I know, reach out to me in my DMs. You know, if you can't feed yourself, if you're having a tough go of it. I did all that, and I care about the people who are sick, and I care about the healthcare workers, and I still think that if you don't want America to open up tomorrow, you're an idiot who just doesn't, like, you're just not thinking right. You're just, this situation has got you twisted. It's like you are just chugging the Kool-Aid. You know that expression, drinking the Kool-Aid? If you do not want the country to open back up tomorrow, you're drinking the Kool-Aid. It shouldn't be an issue. This should not be an issue. We're so much better than this. Will it open in July? Yes. I think it'll be open, but just for resort guests in July, possibly. If I'm you, I don't know your situation. If I'm you, maybe, I don't know, go later. Wait. If you're somebody who's like ready to take a trip to Disney, and you've been waiting for X amount of time to get back and see the parks, just wait. Keep waiting. It's not that big a deal. You know, if this is not your livelihood, if you're not there for any specific reason, like whatever, wait. Because there's a possibility the park's not going to look the way you want it to. For me, I don't care about fireworks, parades, all that jazz. Carl, what was that? How do they... I didn't read that right. How do they, annual passes, local even, you can't go into the park? Like, what do you mean? How do they say APs? Oh, it's as easy for them as saying that we can't go right now. They're just doing their part. They're making sure that you're not charged and you're returned. And if you don't want to return, you know, they're making it right on your pass. But they don't have to let you have entry. Your pass doesn't guarantee you entry. That's just how it is. Yeah, exactly. That's true too. Yes, it will be open in July, Higgy. Are you okay? Disney World's 100% open in July, guys. Just so you know, if you're like one of these people, you're like, oh, Disney won't be open in July. You are crazy. Do you even understand business? Like how business works? A business cannot sustain itself for months and months of not being open. Not even Disney World. We think Disney just like has a magic tree where money grows out of. You could buy Disney right now. There are companies on the planet that could outright buy Disney cash. Apple being the prime example. Is that what you want? You want this company, the ultimate company, the greatest, like, I mean, yeah, Apple, Mac, Windows rather. You know, these are like Microsoft. These companies are, I said Windows. Microsoft, these companies are amazing companies. Even Walmart's an amazing company, right? Walt Disney put his entire essence, his life, into these parks. And what, you want them to close? You want them to get bought by Apple? Is that what you want? Because that's what's going to happen if Disney doesn't open up. That's what happens, just so you know. There's no scenario where that doesn't happen. I'm angry, as you can tell from the way that I've answered some of these stupid ass people in the chat tonight and my overloading on the cursing. I've dropped more curses in this past 69 minutes than I have in months and months of streaming. But you know what? I'm angry, and we all should be angry. We should be angry that our civil liberties are being ripped out from underneath us. We should all be super, super thankful that the country is moving as fast towards reopening as it is. Really, we should all be super grateful. Resort guests with reservation in states with stay-at-home orders may still get screwed. I don't believe there will be any stay-at-home orders past the 1st of June. Even if governors are now saying that that will happen, I think that that could change in a few weeks. You have to remember this is an ever-evolving situation, you know? I was just thinking, what would do about reopening Disney? What does that mean? What would do? Yeah, God, yeah. New York, they did say that they did some base testing on antibodies today. This is breaking news, and I think it was something around 13%, which doesn't seem very high. You would hope that, you know, Jesus Christ, in a place like New York, that close to 80% of a test base would have the antibodies, but we don't know the accuracy of these tests yet. I just don't. Let me ask you guys a question. Think about it in a more relative situation, okay? Think about you're in a neighborhood, right? And up and down your road, there's 25 houses. You can see all the houses, okay? You step out onto your, every day, and you see that all the other 25 houses, they're doing the same thing you're doing. You're in your house, you're not going out, groceries maybe, but most of the time you're just staying inside. But there's this one guy in the neighborhood. He's having parties, he's raging, this is the best time of his life, everything seems normal. How long are you going to stay in your house for? Because that one house, that's Sweden. Just so you know, that's Sweden, that one house. And the other 24 houses are the rest of us looking at Sweden like, what are we doing? Why are we sitting in our houses? How long would you stay in your house for? Every time you put on the news, it says, don't go outside because you might die. But there's this guy up the street that goes outside every single day, and there's people at his house all day, and he's partying hard, and he's flipping burgers and selling them on the side of the road. He's got a lemonade stand. How long are you going to sit in your house for? And that's you. Answer that question for yourself and then realize that you are just like everybody else in this fucking country. Everybody's going to leave. Because it's going to be that guy, and then his neighbor's going to be like, oh, maybe I'll go out a couple times, and then, and life is back to normal, and then 2 of your neighbors are back to normal, and 3 of your neighbors, and then 4. Eventually, life gets back to normal. Thank God. Are you anti-vaccine? God, no. Anti-vaccinators are some of the craziest people on the planet. What do you want your kid to have polio? You know what I mean? Do you remember a couple years back, there was an outbreak of measles because some anti-vax kid went to like a basketball game and a little mini outbreak of measles happened. Measles. You shouldn't get measles. Nobody should get measles. It's fucking dead. It's a stupid disease. Like, it's a... Anti-vaxxers are crazy. But, like, where are they at right now? Where are the anti-vaxxers at? Seriously, where are they at? How do they feel? How do they feel about this? They're like, oh, I'm not giving my kid any vaccines. But like, the only way your kid's going back to school is if he has a vaccine. They're like, stab him in the neck. I'm anti-vaccine in this situation. In this particular situation, I am not anti-vaccine. Like, I don't want it to come. Of course I want it to come. Eventually when it comes, it's going to give people a sense of security, which it helps. The more people that feel secure, the more life gets back to normal. Every restaurant can open up, but if people don't feel comfortable going back to the restaurants, then that's not normal. Disney can open back up, but if people don't feel comfortable going, that's not normal. Eventually normality has to creep back in, you know? Eventually it has to creep back in. Carl says, apocalypse over the measles. This is something I've mentioned in several of these chats, and I will continue to harp on it. The apocalypse, baby. You better pray to God that that never comes, because we are screwed. This is how we handled something that killed less people than last year's flu. We all lost our little minds. We shut down the entire nation over something that killed less people than last year's flu. When the real apocalypse comes, y'all are toast. I'll be alright. Maybe a couple of you guys in the chat will be alright. I'll be good. But most people, they're gonna be pretty fucked. They're gonna be toast. I'm good in the apocalypse for the reasons I've mentioned. I played a lot of Fallout. I know all about the apocalypse. I'm ready to trade, barter, or borrow. I'm not worried about the apocalypse. Cheers to the apocalypse, man. And this ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't it. This is not the bubonic plague, dude. This is not, it ain't it, man. This just ain't it. This ain't it. Because you know what? People are smart. Like, ultimately, people, like, we're not all super stupid. Like, we have a survival instinct that is very deeply rooted in all of us. Like, even if you were the most ignorant, stupid person on the planet, your survival instinct is still there, somewhere deep down in you. You'll be able to smell the apocalypse coming. And it's not going to be toilet paper that you can't find. It's going to be canned meat and bullets. When you can't find any more canned meat and bullets, that's when the apocalypse is coming, y'all. Not toilet paper. Because in the apocalypse, you can wipe your ass with anything. But you can't shoot somebody with anything. In the apocalypse, you know what's going to be worth a lot? Your PPE and all this stuff that people are always talking about. You got a hazmat suit? You got a mask? How many masks you got? That's the real apocalypse. Really, the real apocalypse, you don't even want to see that. Because the country would get so weird. It would get so weird. God, this has been the weirdest few months of my life. I think we're all going to look back at this anthropologically. Is that even a word? It has to be. What would be the derivative of anthropology in that sense that I'm trying to use it? Anthropologically? It's got to be. We're going to look back on this and just be like, what the hell were we thinking? We're never going to let this happen again. As a nation, never in a million years are we going to ever. Percent chance a July 5th reservation happens. Dude, 100%, man. 100%. Did you say July 5th? Hell yeah, 100%, dude. 100%. 100%. Now, I don't know what the park's going to look like on July 5th. I wouldn't even begin to pretend like I know enough. Because I only talk about what I know. I could take guesses at what it's going to look like, but I almost promise you the park's going to... It would go against everything I know for Disney to not be open on the 5th of July. It would mean the company is prepared to sell itself off. It would not be preparations on how do we reopen. It would be preparations on how are we going to sell off the company. That's what would happen. July fucking 5th, dude. Believe that. Do you think hiring is now or soon? What does that mean, Joseph? I feel like a lot of people Maybe you guys are typing too fast. A lot of people are missing words in their comments, which makes it hard for me to understand. How do you think hiring is now or soon? Ain't no way I'd go to Disney for the 4th or 5th on a good year. Amen to that. I wouldn't, I'll be there. I don't care. It's a word now. Oh, God. I love Disney on the 4th. So, we need to have a caveat here towards the end for anybody that actually rewatches this back in full. Or anybody that's been here this whole time and you have some kind of salty feelings, okay? I am having a sip of the course for every June 1st. There's a little caveat, okay? Do you think Disney is hiring anyone now or as soon as they open? Yeah, God, yeah. Definitely. Disney's always hiring. And I think that when they get back open, they're going to need people, so... 100%. A lot of people who have been furloughed have gone on to find other jobs that they will not quit and go back to Disney. That's just a fact. That's how the job market works. Historically, that's how this happens. So Disney is going to need people. It would be a great time to apply for the company. Great time to apply for the company. No salt here, 100%. Yes, I was supposed to leave yesterday. I had a friend who was supposed to arrive at Disney yesterday, and I felt so bad for her. But she did an awesome job. She posted great stories. Like, she was just took it all in stride and was really proud. A little caveat for anybody who thinks that, oh my God, and I can only imagine what you think, right? Tom's a this, he's that. I'm not going to start putting words in your mouth. Basically, you think I'm a dickhead, right? Because of the way I'm talking about the coronavirus. I'm sorry. I don't want you to think that. And if you do, my apologies. I hope that you watch enough of my channel that you understand that on the whole, I'm the kind of guy that holds doors for old ladies, but I don't tolerate fools. I don't deal with this bullshit very well. I'm real. I was watching... This is a huge shout out to Tanya. I don't know if she's still here, but I was watching Tanya with Ben last night. And I'm sure you guys all know Equity Ben. Ben's a great guy. He's worked for the Disney company for years. And he said something to me last night that really, not to me, but said something in the stream with Tanya last night that really rung true with me, like super strong. He was saying that, like, you pretty much, you have to be you. You have to be unapologetically you because people see through the fake stuff. If you ever really want to succeed, you have to be you. And I couldn't agree any more. As this year continues, thank you, Chase. Thank you, Pat, for the PayPal, for the super chats. That means a lot to me, guys. As this year will continue, we are going to move into election season, which is going to be very dicey. It's something I'm going to be talking about on the regular because I have extremely strong opinions on it. It's something I'm well versed in, and it's something I hope that most of you listen to me on. If you're not somebody who's well versed in politics, in the political process, in election year cycles, etc., I highly suggest that you listen to me. I know that's why you're here anyway. I mean, you're not here to not listen to me. If you're a member of this channel, you've come with me far enough to know who I am. And as we move into this political season, like, things are going to get dicey. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. I am. I don't have to respond to some of these comments the way that I do. Like, for example, the dumbass with the, comment about the boardroom. Like, I could be much more cordial with that kind of stuff. I could always be more cordial. I understand that. I just don't tolerate fools. I don't, I'm not for the meekish and the weak at heart. Like, I'm a real guy. Kim, you rock, guys. Kim is an awesome supporter of mine. I have been following Kim. Kim, do you know we've been following each other for probably over a year on, Chase, make sure you screenshot that and send it to me if there was something. To honor June 1st, thank you so much. Hey Tom, I always enjoy, and also to Thicky Mouse, if you're here, reach out to me on Instagram, dude, so I can light you up. Or if you're a girl, I'll light you up too. Girl, guy, I don't even care. I'm not sexist. I treat people the same. But message me on Instagram. You think you're tough and you want to like talk shit. Think you know more than me. Am I voting for Donald Trump? I don't know. I typically, I wait. But I know Joe Biden. I really know Joe Biden. I've been watching this guy for a long time. He's been a senator for, he's just been around forever, you know? I know Joe Biden. I don't need to hear what he has to say during any of the debates. I don't have to hear any of it. You know, I just don't think he's up to the task. I don't think he's got it in him. I think with Biden, you basically get another shot at some weird old like white dude. And I know Trump's a weird old white dude too, but he's not a politician. And that's the difference. You know, Trump's an outsider. And that's what I've always respected about him. I'm going to be honest with you. If Oprah ran for president, I would vote for Oprah. I'm into these super rich people who have made themselves independently running the nation. I think that's the way it should be. I think that this whole idea that your president needs to be this guy who's been a sitting politician for his entire life and God knows how much he's ever even gotten done. Like, you know, a guy like Bernie Sanders has been on the floor for 35 years. I think he's been the major co-signer of 2 bills. 2 bills. Like, some of the people that, you know, are in the running for the presidency are just like, they just don't have it. The Dems can't find their champion, but that's for a whole nother discussion. Craig, thank you so much, man. You're the best. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Craig. Oh, Chase beat me to it, but I want to read this lady's comment out loud because because that's how I am. You know how I am with these trolls. That's how I like to do it. Oh, God. See? And this is how you know you can smell through this insane bullshit, right? This was her comment in the discussion. Just so you all know the kind of people that trolls are and how just outrageously trolls are the most ignorant people on the planet. This was her comment, okay, in the conversation that we're having. Listen to you. You cried over a girl that didn't give you any pussy from the UK. That is a comment that goes back to almost 5 months ago when we were dealing with all the Emily Real Talk Ryan bullshit. The stuff that I personally dropped everything off the channel, made my amends with most of those people, believe it or not. But you guys don't even know that. That's some real deep stuff. That's personal life stuff. I made amends with most of those people. But that's the person, right? That's the person that was going to try to make us believe they had some clout with Disney. Trolls are not even good at what they want to do. That's the sad part. And I think that's why I always like to read the troll comments. I always like to give the trolls a little bit of a platform. Because when you give the trolls a platform, then everybody gets to see how stupid they are. If you just delete them right away, nobody gets to see how stupid they are. And that's not what we're here for. But yeah, great comment. I don't know if Chase hid you from the channel. If he did, I'd have him unhide you. Make as many of those crazy, stupid comments as you want, because it just makes you look. No, Chase, you know what, dude? I love you, man. I know what you're here for. Guys like Chase and all these dudes, they're always looking out for me. They have 100% my free reign. I say it all the time. This is the Wild Wild West. These guys are the sheriffs. They handle their business however they handle it. I'm the mayor. I'm the mayor of Old West. The mods are the sheriffs. Sometimes the sheriff arrests a guy and I go to jail and I say, come out here and tell everybody how stupid you are. Come out into the town square and tell all these people just how stupid you are. How many times do you see comments and shake your head as you delete the comments, Chase? I bet you he does it all the time. I can't even imagine. We've been pretty free from trolls for a long time. What's up, Melanie? How are you? Thanks so much. Guys, if you don't follow my friend Mel, Once Upon Adventure, Mel's got awesome content. Make sure you check her out. I think she changed her name, too. It's not even Once Upon Adventure, is it? Oh, it still is. Good. I know you changed that on Insta, I think. I think it's just like adventure now. What is it? Once adventure? Adventure once? So stupid. That's funny, Tom. Thanks, Michelle. I appreciate that. I had some marks earlier. You got to. You got to. Drinking Guinness now. Hell yeah. How do new guys like yourself earn the blue wrench? The blue wrench is done. I'm not giving anybody blue wrenches for a long ass time. The only person that got a blue wrench recently was Craig, but that's because I met him in real life. I guess if you meet me in real life and your daughter's been like a good friend of mine for a year and a half and you're super cool, and that's a good way to instantly get the mod spot. Yeah, all these old mods. I mean, most guys, honestly, I hate to say it, I love all my mods, and I know they don't take it the wrong way. I just don't need mods. Mods are there so that people's comments like that can get deleted instantly and nobody sees them pretty much. That's a mod's job, and my mods do an excellent job. But I don't even want that. Like, technically, I want all the troll comments because I don't care. YouTube is, I think, all too often in life, like, that's what we all think that we can experience. We can all just have the best of something, but you can't have any of the bad stuff. No. It's not real. It's not real life. Also, thanks to Pat for the, or was that Dave or Pat, or what's it say? Dave, $24.99 super chat, man. Thanks so much. I appreciate that big time. That's $63 on the chat tonight, guys. You're really crushing it on the super chats. Just so everybody knows, I had my biggest payout from YouTube ever a couple of days ago. It was an astronomical amount that I am not going to say because I don't want people to know exactly how much I make off of the YouTube. But I was a lot. I was pretty shocked. Yeah. So, and again, that's thanks to all you guys. All the support I had last month. It was my best month ever. We had huge streams. Huge. Huge. Okay? So, just want to say thanks to everybody for all that. The Patreon's rocking right now, too. I just want to say thanks. YouTube does take a cut. YouTube takes about 30%, which was kind of, was a lot. When I thought about it, I was like, holy shit, 30% of this number is like, if you're good at math, just so you know, 30% of what I made on YouTube this month, I could have bought an M50. Yeah, so it was it was quite a considerable amount. But it's, as I've always said, it's great for my analytics. It's good for any time I ever have to pull these numbers for anybody. I can say, here's my Google AdSense, looking good. And it's good for me in YouTube standing too. Just so you guys know, YouTube likes that it makes a bunch of money off of my channel. YouTube loves that, I'm sure. I'm sure. You're welcome, Susan Wozniak. What's her name? Susan Wachowski? Wachanowski? God, what's the CEO of YouTube's name? I always forget. We're just going to call her Susan. You're welcome, Susan. You're welcome, Susan. With the money you get on YouTube, do you have to put that on your tax return? I don't know. I'm very confused about how to file my taxes this year. Thank God the government gave an extension. As you know, we're way past tax date here. But the government gave an extension, which is good, because when this whole thing goes back down, I got to go to H&R Block and sit down with somebody to make sure that I'm good. Not that it's a big deal. Who the hell gets audited? You know what I mean? From a YouTube channel, I highly doubt it. But I'm into paying my taxes anyway. I don't want to. No representation, no taxation without representation. I feel like I'm well represented, so I have no problem paying my taxes. If I ever paid money on my taxes. Oh, God. Any other questions? Late night questions? Late chat questions, rather? Tanya's going to be streaming here very shortly, everybody. Who all was drinking in the chat? Chase wants to know, y'all. Nice. That's awesome. Whoever that person is, they actually had the balls to message me on Instagram. That is hilarious. Y'all want to take a guess at how many followers they have before I look? We could just take some guesses. Only educated guesses, though. I'm going to go with like maybe 500, if they're lucky. This is the old phone, so it's slow as dirt. Oh, great. It was an account just made for me. That's fun. Oh my God, people are so weird. Oh man, this stuff that you run into is so weird. It's nothing, man. Some of the people that I've had, oh my God, they're awful. Nah, it's just some fake account. It's not even, none of it's even real. It's not worth my time. I thought it was going to be somebody who actually was a person. Ah, man. Stuff that just cracks me up. This is a prime example of why people need to get their asses back to work. Like, people have way too much free time right now. Way too much free time. First thing I'm doing in the parks, dude, I'm just gonna, like, stare at the castle for a hot minute. Longer than I'm gonna stare at the castle for a while. I'm just gonna sit, dude. I just want the views, man. I just want to be able to sit and look at those views. I miss that castle. Big time. Big time. Can't wait to eat. You know what I mean? Can't wait to get back in there and eat. 72-hour stream. 1,000% is happening. We are going to be going hot live, 72 hours. Now, here is the deal, folks. I talked to Tanya about this a little bit tonight, and I'm going to say it here. I don't think streaming at Walt Disney World right off the rip is going to be acceptable. I think that it's going to get very hairy in terms of what I personally experienced the last week that the parks were open, what I saw people like Chris, spokesman, experience. I just don't think that Disney's going to want people streaming that with the parks like that, which I'll totally respect. I get all that, no big deal. So we're going to have to kind of go with it. If that's the case, I might just let the stream run in my house. Not the house, but run in the hotel room, you know? And then when I get back to the hotel, we can run the stream around the hotel and stuff, or we'll go up to the top of the world and just sit around or whatever, you know. That'll be nice. I just don't know how much streaming there's going to be able to do. I think I'll be able to get away with shooting vlogs. I'm not sure. I really don't. They might want to let people see that it's safe. That's a very good point. Obviously, it would be as simple as me just popping into guest relations day one and just saying, hey, we're back. I wanted to do that anyway because I want to get a little bit of clarification on exactly like what happened with, not, and I'm not going to talk about it on the channel, but my last little, you guys saw, I cut the stream that last day, and I obviously had some conversations with people at Disney and security, and I just want to get some clarification on the conversation I had with them, and maybe get a little bit of clarification on what's going on in the parks when we're back open. It would be as simple as popping into guest services. It's not a one-stop shop. It's not the one-stop shop answers for everybody, but it typically has a little bit of information. Ba 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 ba, boom 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 boom. Although the other side, they might want to show people that everything's safe. I think that would be a good idea to pop in there and see what they will allow at the beginning. I don't see why not. Plus, I need to get clarification. I want to get clarification on a lot of. I had a long discussion with security that day. It was not some quick little, hey, be on your way. It was long and intense, just so everybody knows. And I respect it. I have 100% respect for Disney for, making sure that I heard that while the parks were closed, there has been a lot of people, these urban explorers, right? These people who love to break the rules. They've been like there have been a handful of arrests at Disney, people who have been trying to do this kind of stuff. And they just wanted to make sure, you see people with cameras, you see people with a lot of gear, you don't really know what are they up to, Disney's private property. There's a lot of factors involved with it. A lot of factors. But I think that it's as simple as a question. It is as simple as a question. Yeah, it's really crazy. You'd hope that. What urban explorers at Disney have always intrigued me, because, like, in my head, if you were gonna urban explore a place like Disney, wouldn't you like be a super diehard Disney fan, like to want to do that? And if you were a diehard Disney fan, like I and so many other people are, you would never do that. You would never, ever do something that was like blatantly against the rules. Because you love the place, you wouldn't want to ruin it like that. So it just doesn't make any sense to me, these urban explorers at Disney. I get it if you're like somebody who urban explores the old mall that's abandoned or whatever, because that's just something to do. But like going to Disney, like urban exploring, I'm sure those people get arrested. I'm sure they get banned. I'm sure it's not a good day, So I can't imagine why, on God's green earth, if you're not a huge Disney fan, like, what would be the risk there? And if you were a huge Disney fan, why would you take it? It's so backwards, urban exploring at Disney. But I heard that there was a lot of that. So I'm sure that once Disney gets back rolling, you know what I mean? They're gonna, yeah. Not only because it's a big name in a worldwide popular place, it's like conquering something big. That's true. I guess you're right. It's like yeah, they must, yeah. It's like those videos you see of people who like walk on the side of buildings and stuff, They're like 1,000 feet in the air, just like walking on the side of the building, and you're like, what are you doing, dude? Yeah, it's weird. Some people, man. Some people, they're crazy. Really, really crazy. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick, guys. We're going to start kind of trying to wrap it up. I don't want to stream into Tanya's stream because that's rude of me. Yeah, I'm just going to use the bathroom. I'll grab one more beer, and we'll wrap it up here. Make sure you smash that like button. If you guys have not smashed the like button yet, that's essential. Boom, 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 boom. More beer, please. I haven't had a single coffee. Disney nerd herders in the house. What's up, Disney nerd herders? Walter with a pretty deep quote. The fool thinks himself to be wise. The wise man knows himself to be a fool. Everybody loves proverbs, right? They don't really fit in this particular situation because the person who is wisest to everything thinks that he knows everything. And I guess maybe it does apply. Jesus. It's deep. Who said that? What is that? Like, Jesus. That's, Chinese? We've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed. Is it Socrates, you know? Where's the philosophy come from? Oh, of course, Billy himself. I don't know much Shakespeare at all. Actually, I probably don't know any more than the next person. It is tough. Yeah, it is tough. Personally, in my life, I feel like the things that I have decided to know about, and maybe you consider knowing about something being wise to it. I feel like the things that I've spent the time to become wise to typically have served me well. It's all about self-service at the end of the day. I mean, you can be as good a person as you want. You can try to give all you can, but there has to be a level of self-service, especially knowledge, you know? Like, it's great to learn knowledge for the greater good, but to be your own person, that's really important. But that's very true. I guess you could say it like that. What do I know? Who am I compared to the next person? Why should you listen to me more than the next person? That's up to you. It's the beauty of life, baby. You get to do you. I appreciate all you guys for being here. Thank you. Thank you. I know everybody's excited. I know everybody's anxious to get back to normal. I'm sure that most of you are experiencing that same thing. I'm sure a lot of you miss your jobs, your day-to-day life. I'm happy that the coronavirus seems to be on the downward spike across the board. And I hope that the reopening of the economy is done in the right way, and that we I don't think that the greater good of the economy reopening is more important than people being safe. I just feel like people should be given the right to choose which of those they'd like. If you're somebody who really, really just needs to be safe, stay inside. I doubt that your employers are going to force you to come back to work right now. I don't even think legally they could. There's not precedent for it. At least not with the coronavirus. I think that if you're somebody who is in ill health, if you're somebody who's highly contagious, if you're somebody who's susceptible, if you're feeling sick, if you should do your part. You should wear your masks. You should donate where you can. You should, be a good person. Be a good citizen. Be a good American. And like I said in the beginning of this is the home of the free and the land of the brave. So let's act like it. Let's get our freedom back, our normal day-to-day life. Let's be brave, right? Brave in the face of this. Take comfort in the numbers. Take comfort in the process. Your local system. Believe that everything is going to work out for the best. I know this is not an easy time for people. If you're somebody that you think I could help you, can I whistle? I don't know, my lips are a little dry. Pretty much. Yeah, stay safe, guys. It means, do what you can. Stay safe. Be smart. Pay attention. Watch the things you don't want to watch. Can you whistle underwater? Shit. I don't know, man. These are great. These are the kind of hard-pressing questions that I'm really looking for in life. I'll have to give it a shot. I think so, actually. I don't know how well the sound would carry. Can you whistle a song? Oh, man. No, I don't think so. No, I can't. Oh, I can whistle Pirates of the Caribbean. I can still do it. Oh, not bad. First one was the best. Yeah, Pirates. Oh, Andy Griffin. I guess I can. I got to put some practice into it. I bet you I could whistle my ass off. Just like with anything in life, you put a little bit of work into it, baby, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Guys, I gotta tell you, have you been on Pirates of the Caribbean? No, I haven't, Xavier. Have you? Is it good? I've heard good things. Xavier, I feel like you haven't hit that subscribe button down there, man. It's red. Just smash that thing, dude. Press the like button, too. If you do those two things, I'll ride Pirates of the Caribbean for you. Man, speaking of pirates, that's going to be my first ride back. It has one medium drop. Dude, drops scare me, man. I can't do drops. The only rides I like are It's a Small World and Living with the Land. Those are the only two rides I can do at Disney. The other ones, way too much, bro. I'm gonna literally rope drop Magic Kingdom. I'm gonna rope drop Magic Kingdom, and I am going to go on Splash Mountain, probably because it's a better rope drop. And then right to the spring roll cart. I don't care what time it is. If it is 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30, I am eating a double order. I'm talking 2 pizza, 2 cheeseburger, spring rolls. Sometimes you leave the Pirates ride of the Caribbean wet. That happens when you're in the front. Damn, I'm going to have to watch out. I've also heard that sometimes when you're on the very far right side of the boat, the cannon can get you really wet too. I'm totally messing with you, dude. I feel like you're taking me seriously, so I have to say it. I've been to Disney 1,000 million times. I've ridden Pirates of the Caribbean more than you could ever imagine. Sorry. Actually, speaking of pirates, I got the band right here. Should we pull the old band? Hey, Joe, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. This is the old Pirates band right here. Minnie Mouse as the pirate. Okay, and then on this side you got your little cross. Oh, no crossbones. I thought there was crossbones. There's not. It's just a skull with a... Huh. Well, how about that? I wanted that one. So cute. Heck yeah, Cher. I think I have another one tucked back here, probably, right? Because you know how Tom does it. He doesn't play around. He's got doubles. Oh, what is my life? I gotta tell you, if you had told me like 3 years ago, you'd been like, Tom, you're gonna be living the best life you could ever imagine. I would've been like, man, my life's pretty dope right now, you know? I get to go to work, chill, I got a cool car, and I had a cool motorcycle before I got it stolen. I just had all kinds of dope stuff. Like, I was like, oh man, life couldn't be better than this. But the reality was, all I did was go home and sit around and play video games. It was nothing. I think it was cool. I had friends, and like I was nice being able to see my friends. That's what I missed the most. My family, you know, that was cool. But the day-to-day was just so... Unlike now, here we are, like, almost 2 years, you know, not really. 18 months into the Disney adventure. Like, life is dope. Like, I don't know, it's crazy. It's so much, I have so much purpose. If anybody's wondering, they're like, why does Tom, like, want Disney to open? What the hell does he care about? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like, that's my jam. Like, that's my bread and butter. Not just for finances. Like, it's for me, personally. It's my drive. It's the thing that, like, I like doing this. This is fun. I like being at home and talking. I want to be at Disney talking. I want to get that camera back out. Some of those vlogs, I don't know if you guys were like into them, but I really like some of the last vlogs. I know Tanya's going to start streaming any minute. I don't mind if anybody goes over there. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Everybody get out of here. Go start watching Tanya. The only time I ever went to Disney as a child was when I was 3 years old. And I ruined the trip because I was scared of everything, and the only ride my brother wanted to go on was Pirates. Yes, it's such a good ride. Wait, what? The only time I went to Disney... Oh, as a child. Okay. I was like, what? Michelle, you're at Disney all the time. When I was a kid at Disney, God, Pirates was I loved that. I used to ride Pirates before... Carl, thanks, man. Much appreciated. Carl, before you go, can you remind me, like... I think we met on the bridge one night, maybe, after Illuminations, or did I meet you and your wife at the Polynesian? God, I feel like I know two Carls, man. I did meet you, right? It's so hard, dude. So many names. It's onslaught. It's never ending. It's just names all the time, names. He's gone. Maybe not. Carl. I can't remember, man. I think I met that dude. Have I met you? No, we haven't. We got to schedule some coffee. Oh, dude, hell yeah, the cortado. Not the cortado, the shakerado. Yeah. Roger that. Enjoy your night. Shakerado on me. Shakerado for anybody. That goes for anybody. If you want to hang out one time with me, just you just got to tell me what time you're meeting me at Le Petit Cafe at the Riviera. And that's where I'll buy you a Shakerado. I just feel like everybody in the world should have this coffee, you know? Even if, like, you don't even want to talk to me. Even if you're just like, hey, Tom, can I have a selfie with you or something? I'll be like, sure. And here's your coffee. Bye. Oh man, Michelle, that must be the age where kids start to feel fear. I think, do I ever remember being scared at Disney? I remember being well, I don't remember, but my grandma told me the story a couple of years ago, and it kind of like brought back this flashing memory of it all. I remember when Disney Springs was Disney Quest, and oh no, maybe it wasn't at Disney Quest. I think it was in Communicore. Yes, it had to have been because it was Epcot, not Disney Springs. Yeah, because Communicore was kind of like that. So it was Communicore. I think the area was maybe like the not electric umbrella side. It's hard to remember it, man. It's such a weird memory. It was something I had spaced out totally until she told me about it. But basically, like, she was watching me, and she was with her. It wasn't my grandpa. My grandpa had already passed away, but she had a boyfriend at the time, and he was this British guy, and his name was Tom, and he was like super like butch dude, and he was like, oh, just like let him be, like he's not gonna be worried or anything like that. She's like, oh no, you don't understand, like if he gets lost in there, he's gonna lose his mind. And apparently he convinced her to like let me go in there like and like walk away, and I guess like I was fine for a little while. She said at one point I was like 5 or 6. She was like, at one point you looked up and you didn't see me and you just started screaming. Oh, it was funny. I don't really remember ever being scared on any Disney rides. Dumbo, teacups, those are all classics. Classics. Well, cool guys, that was it. Like I said, I don't want to go too far into Tanya's stream, so please, 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 if you haven't smashed that like button already, Carrie, you have been coming in way too late for the past few days, girl. I promise I'm gonna stream Assassin's Creed tomorrow, and we can sing Hamilton and hang out, and it'll be fun. So you missed it. Yeah, we've been going for 2 hours. But my good buddy Tanya, that crazy Disney lady, is about to start streaming, guys. So please go check out her stream tonight. Say hello from Tom and his chat, the crew, the gang. Whatever, we got to get a name that does Disneyers. Yeah. Much love. I appreciate it. Thanks for hearing me out. And I will be live tomorrow night. We'll be watching Frozen 2. Watch party. Oh, hooray. Carrie, you going to be there for that too? Yes, Hamilton. If you guys want to rap Hamilton, tomorrow I'll be streaming on Tom Does Video Games. We'll be playing Assassin's Creed and rapping Hamilton. So, all right, y'all. Much love. Go watch Tanya now. Okay? Bye.